In this match between Buddy Rogers and Killer Kowalski, we see a cool leg lock when the guy tries to take your back, and a lot of my jiu-jitsu peers will call this junk jitsu, meaning because it is low probability of success. You have to do it from a dominated position. It's outside of quote unquote jiu-jitsu fundamentals. But to speak frankly, a slightly tweaked version of this is one that I get all the time in my roles. So just to talk about what we're seeing a little bit, Buddy Rogers has a fairly inefficient back control position, kind of set up, and Killer Kowalski put himself into it willingly, meaning like it's more accurately, Buddy Rogers wasn't going for a back control. He was just laying down, theatrically acting injured. But right up until the moment where Killer Kowalski puts himself in this position, you could substitute this in for someone who had gotten there on purpose to try to get back control, and we could have almost the same discussion. So just for a moment, let's imagine that Buddy Rogers was attempting to actually obtain back control, and will reveal basically the same punishment hold, aka submission hold, if submissions are a legal way to victory. So um, what's happening here is Killer Kowalski is exerting a lot of knee rotational pressure, but some of you watching this would rightly say, well, isn't he in danger of getting choked? And the answer, of course, would be yes. So pulling this off in live grapples in a like actual competitive situation is indeed lower probability. It's like low percentage, but the mechanics to make it work are basically rooted, number one, in a defense against the choke. So the chin has to be tucked. There has to be some level of competency in fending off the hands from even getting in that position, and the angle of the body can't be spines aligned on top and bottom, right? So the guy in danger of getting back control has to cut an odd angle so that he's not quite in danger of getting backpacked, in danger of getting choked. And the tweak that I apply to this in my own grapples is I make it less of a knee rotational lock, and I make it more of a de facto toe hold. And the crucial difference is Killer Kowalski's not doing anything with that other elbow in terms of pinning, but when I execute this, I pin that bottom leg with my elbow, even while still using the end of that hand for the crank. So it's kind of hard to describe this without an accompanying video, and I may do one of those videos later. But if you wedge your elbow down into the interior of the guy's knee that you're pinning down, and then you use both your hands to crank against the toes in the same bending fashion that you would obtain in a toe hold, like a modern toe hold, then you end up getting a very nasty submission possibility. So sometimes you'll get the tap from that, but very often what'll happen instead is the guy with back control or the threat of back control has to stop whatever he's doing to try to not get tapped out by a quote unquote low percentage submission. So part of the use of this submission could just be like old man junk jitsu, where you trick someone into falling for a quote unquote stupid junk jitsu submission, and you could totally do that. And I've gotten lots of taps with that. Do you always get that twice in a row on the same guy? No, definitely not. Someone really has to be sleepy to fall for that twice. But more often than not, what you'll do is just be able to use that toe hold variation to get the bottom man to stop whatever he's doing, meaning like sabotage his own potential for good back control, sabotage his own potential for a good choke, just to scooch his body at a different angle so that he's not getting that toe hold pressure. And in the meantime, you can change your own position. You could go belly button to belly button again if you want, or you could work on some other kind of escape, or you could even work for some other kind of leg submission, like maybe a knee bar on the other leg. These are all things that I kind of juggle around when I play with this. So in this catch wrestling match, it's meant as a punishment hold, partially for entertainment value, but in its DNA, there is definitely a real submission, even if it's a lower probability one.